Okay, now I'm going to work on the mouth. Remember, the mouth is approximately the length of the nose, which again you'll get from your photographs. So here's the length of my nose, and there is my mouth. Okay, so I'll actually make marks down here. Okay, so here's the length of my mouth. I know in my case, I'm actually slightly smaller than that, so I'll just come inside that mark and make these marks here. From your photograph, which I'll reference in another picture, which I've done with you guys, we're going to take this space and divide it up in your photograph and figure out where your upper lip ends and where your lower lip begins. With me, I know I've got kind of a big space here. It's not quite halfway. So my upper lip is going to go right about there. Okay? So I'm going to add the lips, and it's not just the lips. I'm actually adding this whole area and this area down here, so it's more than that area. So I'm going to start by slipping and scoring, as with everything in ceramics. Otherwise, it doesn't stick. It's going to crack right off. So the lip that I'm going to add is going to look really fat. And it's going to look really fat because, again, I'm making this whole upper lid area. Also, you should be looking at your profile picture and see how far the lips come out relative to your forehead space. Remember where, I'll just do that since I can. Okay, we're looking at it like this, and you're looking at your photograph and see how far the lips come out relative to that straight line on your forehead, okay? And then you can see where the upper lip is relative to the lower lip. Is it the same distance? Is one in front, or is the bottom lip in front? Okay, so you'll get that from your profile. So now I'm going to take my piece of clay, and I'm going to make, this is very similar to the eyelids, except everything's symmetrical with lips. That is, fat end, two sharp points, because the lips disappear into the face structure. That's probably too fat. So I'm going to go a little skinnier. Again, you're not going to get this right the first time in all likelihood. So don't be afraid just to rip it off and try again, because they go relatively quick if you do it right. So doing it a few times will give you good practice. So this is just going to try to make this look symmetrical. Okay, so bring this end in. Now, depending on how much you have that Cupid's bow, which is kind of that fattened part in the center of your lip, I'll just start to create that by making the fattened end right here. Very similar to the eyes. Don't touch the lip part. Keep that nice and rounded, and we're going to touch this area up here. So let me slip and score this area again real quick. And where my line was, which I put right there, that's where I'm going to start to attach my lip. My center point, or my Cupid's bow, is directly against or below my nasal septum. And then the lips got to stay rounded. And then they're going to come in and disappear into the corners or the sides of the face here. This part is what I'm going to work in. And basically, it's kind of like the reverse of lipstick, okay? I'm touching the upper part of my mouth, and where I don't touch, that's defining my upper lip. So from what I understand, when you put lipstick on, you could kind of define your lip. But we're touching the opposite part of the lip to define that. So you see how I kind of made that depression there, which starts to create the Cupid's bow. And this transitions and comes up at an angle and starts to create the upper mouth. I want you to note how this stays rounded. See how it comes back like this? And the corner of the lip disappears into the side of the face here. Okay, when I was blocking this out, this is part of that trapezoid shape I was talking about, this upper section. Now let's do the same thing on the lower section here. slip and score. And you really need to be doing this, otherwise these things will crack off, okay? Lower lip is very similar. Actually, it's simpler because you don't have that Cupid's bow thing to create. Okay, so round it again. This should be soft clay. If this is starting to dry out on you, it's not going to work very well. You could look at what's happening in profile to see how much your lip is projecting past your forehead. Your lip will be either even with your forehead, it will be behind your forehead, or it will be in front of your forehead. And you're going to get that from your profile pictures. Mine I'm just kind of doing, so I'm not really referencing those photos. But you could kind of start to see the mouth now. Now I'm measuring my lip, and I'm cutting the corners down. Now these ends are too fat, so I'm going to make them really sharp, because the mouth disappears at the corners, the lips. Okay, that's quite symmetrical. Now I'm going to put that on like this. Again, I'm not going to touch the lip as much as I'm going to touch the lip that's going to start to define the lower part of the mouth. So it's like I'm doing lipstick in exact opposite, okay? See how I got the corners disappearing into the mouth. I've got this structure right here, which is the bottom part of the lip, which is basically where your teeth are. And you can see actually in this picture, see how my lower lip projects beyond my upper lip? That may or may not be true in the picture, so you just make it true relative to your picture. So if it needs to go back down, I'll just press slightly into this, and they're about the same now. Make the corners of the mouth come down like this. Okay, so you see that looking more face-like now. Got the mouth in place. Now you want to look at these angles right here, right? This is the angle that you'll see in your photographs that's between the lip and the nose and the lower lip, and where the chin's going to start to begin, okay? So the next video, I'll work on the chin and finishing up some other aspects of the face.